It's 12:30 here on the Sunday, March the 29th. As you can see, the Phillies and the Marlins in the fourth and final game of this series coming up. I'm going to start the game at 1 o'clock. It'll be Zach Eflin against Sandy Alcantara. That will be today's game coming up at the top of the hour. Going over the lineup today, as you can see here, this is the planned lineup that I have. I'm going to give JT Real Muto and Roman Quinn a break on this Sunday, as I've inserted Adam Hazley in center field and Andrew Knapp behind the plate. So here's your lineup. Gene Segura will be leading off at third. Scott Kingery, His Royal Highness, in there at second base, batting second. And I'm looking. I really want to get him some. I want to get him some numbers, so I'm going to try my best with him to get him on board and get some timely hitting today. Bryce Harper, of course, the right fielder, batting third. Rhys Hoskins starting again at first base, batting fourth. Batting fifth, shortstop Didi Gregorius. Jay Bruce back in the lineup. He'll be starting in left field. Just in case you missed it, Andrew McCutchen, in Major League Baseball, as far as MLB.com is concerned, was unable to start the season, and it was forecasted that his recovery from his knee injury was going to be probably taken back to maybe the first week of April, or around about when the Phillies had their home opener. Um, so around about the first week of April, I would say actually more like the second week of April, when they come home to face the. Thank you, Julian. Um, when they come home to face the Brewers. We'll get on that in more on that in just a few minutes. We'll get to the schedule in just a few minutes, if possible. Adam Hazley decided to give Roman Quinn a break, as I mentioned, and he'll be batting seventh. Adam Hazley, the youngster, I decided to keep on the main roster. Definitely an up-and-coming left-handed bat. Want to get him some touches today, and also Andrew Knapp, the backup catcher, in for JT. Although I guess in real life, depending on who's pitching, you want to give JT a break. You don't want to burn him out. And being that this is a simulated season, burnout does happen. They usually give you notices that this so and so needs a break, and this guy needs a break, and whatnot. But I just want to give JT a break today. Bench, Kyle Garlick. Don't know really that much about him, to be honest with you. I know he came over from the Dodgers. I think he played for the last, if I'm not mistaken. Let's have a look-see. Here he is. We'll feature this guy here. Not bad. Native of California, 27 years old. Big kid. 210 pounds. Primarily a left fielder, but he can play the whole field. I mean, yeah, he played for the Dodgers last year. 48 at bats, 12 hits. I'm certain this guy was not a starter by any means, but last year his average was 250, on base percentage 321, slugging percentage 521. His OPS 842. So I mean, obviously this guy wasn't an everyday player, so it would just make sense that he'll get a spot start every once in a while, but his deal will be pretty much relegated as a 10th man off the bench, and doing backup spot starts here and there. So that's Kyle Garlick. Adam Hazley, definitely has a lot of upside. Obviously, you can see his overall is 73, but it is going up. Got a little bit under a year under his belt. Primarily a pull hitter, you see there. 6'1", 195, age 23. Last year, well, 67 games he appeared in, 222 at bats. With the amount of injuries last year, including to Andrew McCutchen, let's not forget that Kutch was on the disabled list, or they don't call it that anymore, the injured list, from game one of the season in 2019. So Adam Hazley did get his fair share of games in there, although he was not a starter, but he did get some time on the field and at the plate. 266 average, on base percentage, okay. Slugging percentage, meh. his OPS 720. Like I said, he again another spot starter, and good coming in off the bench to relieve the pitcher of their duties if that situation arises. Andrew Knapp, I mean, I do expect to pull Davey Grulon or whatever the hell his name is. Grulon, I believe, is how you pronounce his last name. I do expect to pull him out of the minors at some point. Um, Especially going on an American League trip where a designated hitter is needed. I would probably, pull a pitcher off the roster and add a third catcher just in case. I mean, Grulon can play in different spots as well. Andrew Knapp, the journeyman, he's been around for a while. Obviously, mostly with the Phillies. This will be his fourth season, and he will get his first start behind the plate in the regular season today. We saw him a little bit during the preseason. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, he's a backup catcher. The one benefit that he does have is that he is a switch hitter, so he can give you at least a chance from either side of the plate. Sorry about that feedback there. Um, so I mean, Andrew Knapp is what he is. He's a backup catcher, and he will be catching for Zach Eflin today. Eflin did exceptionally well for himself during the preseason. I have to say, his stock definitely rose. I was impressed with a lot of the games I didn't play. Um, Obviously the games I did play, it's one thing to actually play the game, but you actually have to go with the tendencies of the player as well. I mean, obviously, if the computer says that so and so is going to be off today, and it doesn't matter really what you do, they're not going to perform well, be it a batter or whether in the field or in this case a pitcher. But Eflin, good fourth starter. He'll be in there today. Um, Going to let him go as long as he can. Obviously, last night the star of the game was, of course, uh, Jake the Snake, as I like to call him, Jake Arrieta. Um, so he did, a tremendous job. I mean, he pitched a 6-0 shutout. Little over 100 pitches thrown. Gave the bullpen a day off. So that was really cool. Got to say that. So as I'm gazing over the roster here, I did mention uh, Davey Grulon. There you see him. Um, from the Dominican. 6'1", 180 pounds. Uh, he's got a lot of upside in my opinion. I know that when I used him in the preseason, he definitely stepped up when inserted into a game, be it in a starting capacity or in a backup capacity. But he is what he is. He had very limited. He came up, I believe, at the end of the 2019 season when the rosters expanded to 40. Of course, last year, as you may remember, the rosters in Major League Baseball were only at 25. I guess as you can see up here in the well, I can't go up there, but roster information says there that we are at the 26 man roster now. As you see, he is on the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. I do, as I said, expect to bring him up. His overall is 74, got a B for potential, and I left him on the 40-man roster just because I think he can really add something. If injuries occur, or like I said, if we're in a American League town and need that extra guy, extra bat. Um, and again, I don't know if I'm going to bring him up in the near future, but I do expect to bring him up sometime. But there's your matchup for today. We're going to get the game going in just a few minutes. I'll come back at the top of the hour, but I just wanted to come on and just sort of give you a preview to go back to the lineup for today against the right-hander with no DH. Gene Segura leading off, batting first, playing third base, batting second. Second baseman Scott Kingery. B-Harp, Bryce Harper, and at that third slot, he'll play right field. Rhys Hoskins at the cleanup spot, he'll but he'll play first, obviously. Didi Gregorius, who also had his addition to the offense last night with a nice home run. He'll be in at the fifth spot. I moved him up due to the absence of JT and Roman Quinn. Jay Bruce, again, the veteran, outfielder back in the lineup. He'll bat sixth and play left. Batting seventh, playing center field, the youngster Adam Hazley. Batting eighth, the catcher Andrew Knapp, and of course, batting ninth and pitching Zach Eflin. That is your lineup, and we will be back at the top of the hour for Game 4 of this four-game series, the finale of finales, right? The finale of this four-game set in Miami. So we'll see you then. Thanks for tuning in.